Hi, buddy. Welcome back to another episode of No Excuses with Chris G. I'm your host, Chris George, co-founder and chairman of SUBTA. No Excuses with Chris G is a show where I help entrepreneurs in the subscription space build business, grow on their business. They take that time to ask me questions, and I give them honest and direct advice to help them really grow their new venture. And today, I've got John with Alaskan Seafood Box, who's actually been on the show before, back on to ask some more questions and give us a little recap of what's happened over the last year. John, thanks so much for being back on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So tell us, how's it been over the last year?
It's been good. I mean, man, we've just been constantly just still pushing, evolving. I feel like in this last year, I feel like, ever since the pandemic, we've constantly been changing, but again, have had a lot of changes, this past year, focusing a lot more on our kind of local regional customers and then evolving with our customers, which I'm kind of excited to talk about and get your feedback on. But yeah, just not stopping, man, keeping it going.
And have you seen some growth over the last year?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been funny because we kind of went through a phase where we were, pushing and spending so much money trying to acquire national customers. And I really feel like we did that a little too early before we knew, everything that encompassed. And it did not go our way. And now we've kind of made that switch back, more on local and regional, and we're right back in it. So kind of going like this and then growing back up. So
yeah. Good. Well, this being your second time on the show, I think you've probably got some more questions that can help you try to scale the business.
Absolutely.
So let's just get right on and get going.
Yeah. So I'd really like to dive into, now that we have made such a switch and we're focusing a lot more on our regional and local customers. Our website right now is totally split to have like our local and regional and then our national. And what I'm seeing right now is we're really having a hard time, or I feel like we're not optimizing our site. Customers are hitting the site. They can either go national, they go home delivery. So we're really trying to figure out how we can just get, when people hit our site and they really just go to one direction, and kind of different ways to optimize that for these guys as they hit. Because right now we have like different offerings for more of like our local regional guys, which are kind of like, 1 to 2 day shipping, versus our national, where we might have those same products or subscriptions, but they might be over in like Maine. So we're trying to figure out, that shipping, all that cost built in, and just a better journey for our customers.
So have you identified that like when somebody's maybe over in the East Coast, they can't get certain products because of the time it takes to deliver it to them? Is that one of the issues?
Yes and no. I mean, we can definitely, so we did run into that. And that was one of the main reasons why we pushed back so much from our national, because we were getting killed on, deliveries and losing boxes. It's definitely back. It's better now. We've really tried to rein in, so we're not trying to acquire people that are so far away, kind of trying to stay within more of our ground shipping area. But we still want to be able to service those customers way out in, for example, places like Maine, Vermont, super far away. But earlier on, that additional shipping cost was absolutely killing us.
Got it.
So
what's the perfect scenario for you to be able to ship all across the U.S., every item that you sell at a good shipping rate? Is that like the end goal?
I think that is, and I feel like we're kind of taking steps though, because right now, we're home back in. We're just shipping out of our facility here in Billings, Montana, and what's been working really well for us is within Montana and Wyoming. Once a month, we do home delivery routes. So this is where we have our own in-house delivery vans, and we go service and take care of our one-time and subscription customers in all these towns. But now what we're seeing is that, we're having luck marketing to people all throughout Montana and Wyoming that aren't on our delivery routes.
Yep.
So we're really trying to figure out how to really service all those guys in one service. So it's like, we can do the home delivery if that's available. Otherwise, we'll ship. But dialing in all those costs to make sure it still makes sense.
So you're saying when you ship it with the traditional shipping providers, it's costing a lot more than the home delivery, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And, if we're within Montana, Wyoming, it's not as bad. But, yeah, absolutely. As soon as we go out further,
Yeah.
big
So have
difference.
you thought about building the business, and apologize if you've mentioned this before another time with me, but where you just literally keep it to this, like, where every time you're shipping, it's within zones 1 through 4. Like, you don't literally market or sell to anybody outside of those 4 zones. Like, have you thought about building the business where it's profitable to ship to zones 1 through 4? They're getting it within 1 to 2 days. The shipping costs are going to be lower. Have you thought about doing that?
Honestly, that's where I feel like we've really started to dig into that just this last week.
Got it. Okay.
Because
That's what I would do. So you talked about going to the website and having like too many offers, right?
yeah,
I would say make it one offer, or like that. The offering is you don't ship outside of these zones 1 through 4. So it's like the selected states around Montana. And you literally, if anybody comes to the website that's over in Maine, it's just
yeah,
going to say, right now, we don't service your area, but please like type in your zip code and like let us know that you'd like us to start shipping there. And then you start to gather that data. And at some point, you're going to get enough people in those states that you're going to say, you know what, I need to solve this. So maybe I get a fulfillment center
yeah,
over on the East Coast that can then make that 1 through 4. There are options, and I met with a few companies. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but they're almost like satellite warehouses
yeah,
where they're all over the country, and you can ship a certain percentage of products to those different satellite warehouses. And then you can service. So then every time you ship, it's always within zones 1 through 4, right? They
got
handle
it.
the fulfillment, they handle everything. Right now,
Yeah,
you've got perishable goods. So I don't know how that all works, but I can, after this call, I can try to dig in to see who that was.
yeah,
But I would literally have all my marketing, all my social media marketing, all of my ads target only the people that are in the surrounding states and within the state, and build the business that way, then expand out. So if you look at like Chewy.com, they started on the East Coast,
okay,
and Chewy.com wouldn't even ship to the West Coast.
got it.
Like, they were literally just like regional,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
grew the regional business, and then they started to expand slowly. They went East Coast, then they went Central, then they went West Coast, and now they're all over. And they're a huge company now, right? They're
yeah,
bought for $3.5 billion. So what I would do is not sell it to anybody outside of my zone. Double down. There's enough people in your area in this region that you can build a really profitable business. Double down on that. Sell only to that region. As you start to bring in the profits and build a healthy business, you start to expand a little bit. Get a fulfillment center that's in the East Coast that can take on, a couple hundred customers for you.
yeah,
And slowly, then you start to drive that, because what you're going to find out is you're going to learn what worked in your surrounding area in terms of
yeah.
advertising. Then you can apply those there. That's what I would do.
So another really quick question. I'm actually really curious to get your input, because this might seem like a little thing, but I'm curious with your just history and knowledge when it comes to conversions. So, we say we do that focus on these regional guys, and we just went through all these numbers yesterday. But like from a 1 to a 2-day shipping, and I know it's very small potatoes, the difference was like, it was like an $8 difference. So I'm curious, do you recommend to like set up shipping rules to where if they're in that next zone where it's like a 2-day, to like have that $8 added in? Or do you think like not, have everything built in?
So why is it? Is it because of how much do these boxes weigh?
Well, they'll vary. So typically we're looking at, the seafood subscriptions are going to be, for the most part, 5 pounds. But we've been doing lots of add-ons, too. So, the typical box is 20 to 25.
20 to 25 pounds?
Yeah.
Because when they go to check out, they add on a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, we're having a lot of luck now. Some stuff that I learned from you guys is we reach out to every single subscriber once a month, or sorry, every 2 weeks, and we have a different add-on special.
Sure.
It's been fascinating.
Well, can't you put the margin on the add-on so that like that shipping still makes sense for them to add it? Like, so if you're 5 pounds, I feel like zones 1 and 2 should be very similar in price. There's a huge difference.
Again, it's not that big.
Okay.
The biggest thing is like, we do like 5 pounds of dry ice per day. So you got a little bit of that ice cost and then a little bit more in shipping. And it's not, you're talking like I said, maybe $6 to $8. So it's pretty small.
So is the primary source of revenue the subscriptions or the shop?
Right now, it's a pretty even split.
Okay. So realistically, given your product, the uniqueness, the fact that it's food, it's seafood, I feel like you probably can charge shipping.
Okay. I was really curious about that.
I think so. You know, again, given the nature of the product, the exclusivity, like you've built this brand about having really good seafood, right? Like forget that, like, so people that want seafood, they're buying yours specifically because they like the Alaskan seafood, right? It's not like compared to like a local grocer. It's different. Could you argue that it's right in some cases better?
It's part of our brand. Yep.
Yeah. So I think you throw on the $8 shipping for everybody, or whatever the number is. It's just like, here's the cost, and then at the end of it, it's shipping, and it could be calculated shipping depending on how much weight they have. So you can have a plug-in at the checkout that says like, if it weighs, this many items are in there, add shipping charges. I know that like consumers have a habit now of always expecting free shipping.
Yeah.
I think in this case, you could probably get away with it given your product.
Yeah. And what I did notice is if we build everything in, so like the 1 day and all that stuff, packaging, everything is built in. So when it is that shipping charge, it's tiny. It's like maybe an $8, or if it's these outside zones, up to 15.
I think what could happen is, and if you make it one price that includes shipping, the consumer might look at it and think it's costing too much. Yeah. Versus when they get to checkout, and then there's a shipping fee, and they're like, "Oh, that's just the shipping fee. I'm really paying $100 for this meat, right?"
And that's what we saw when we focused so much in like Montana.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than like right now. There are some habits where there's like delivery charges, right? Like think about DoorDash, like. You pay your food, and there's a delivery fee at the very end, right? So a little bit of that's coming back. So I think that's what I would do. And look, you can test it.
Yeah,
test it and see what happens.
Cool.
What else?
So the last one that I had really wanted to go over. So as I said in the intro, we've been evolving, and I feel like with our customers and kind of a change in customer behavior. We were starting to see a little bit of a dive. And our customers really going after just that frozen seafood. And the more you think about it, the more you look at all these services out there, I feel like I understand that. So we started testing with kind of more like meal kit style products, a little bit more convenient style. And so we've launched some products and we've had some great success. We made some seafood boil meal kits. And so, we're basically a month and a half into it, had really good success with just one-time offerings of these products. And now we're looking to add that into the subscriptions. And I mean, just would love to get some feedback of, I get a little bit nervous about the brand, our current subscription offerings, just kind of how to approach that and just what your input is.
So just so I make sure I understand, you're putting together some meal kits so that when they get delivered, it's quickly cooked for them. Like it's something that they can either put in the oven or microwave and they can eat. It's like prepared.
So we kind of did our twist on it. So our seafood boil kits are pre-packaged seafood boils frozen in a boil bag. So really all the customer has to do is boil the water, add the pre-portioned seasoning, put the bag in for 8 minutes, and then you got your meal.
Is this seasoning something that they have to have, or you give it to them?
We include it.
Okay, so I mean, I love this, to be honest with you. I love this for a lot of reasons. Meal kits are very popular now. People are very busy.
Yep.
They're rushed. The young consumers especially, right? The millennials and Gen Zs, like that's why we DoorDash. That's why we have meal kits. It's about healthy living. It's about meal prepping for the week. Yep. I think that absolutely that doesn't have an effect on the brand because it's just another subscription offering. Did I lose you? You froze. Oh, you're good. It's another subscription offering, right? And so what I would do is have your normal subscription for your frozen food for people to cook, and then I have your meal kit subscription. Anywhere from, 3 to 5 meals a week.
Yeah.
Delivered.
Yeah.
So they would select their cadence. And do you have different meal? Like they're different meals, right? Like you could have them select like if they like shrimp or they like this, right? And then you could Like, is it a full meal though? I'm sorry if I don't know this. Like, if they boil that bag, like what? Well, give me an example of one of those. What would be in it?
Yeah, for sure. So each boil kit or boil bag is designed for one person. It's about 2 pounds, so it's a very heavy meal. But for the subscription, what we're looking at is like a 3 or a 5 pack, and we want to design it not like a HelloFresh because we for us right now it's got to be frozen just so we can handle it. But yeah, that's basically what it is. So 3 or 5 meals to be eaten in.
But do they need anything else with it, like whether it's vegetables or rice, or is it just like this is the full meal?
Yeah. So what the pack includes is we have a shrimp and a crab option. We were testing out a limited time just locally. We did a limited time crawfish one, which was just kind of fun. But inside the kit, there's 2 pieces of corn, like a corn cobbette, corn on the cob. There's an andouille sausage, and then there's a half pound of potatoes, and then your seafood. So everything is just.
And you literally boil it for how long?
Well, about 6-7 minutes is that sweet
and then
spot.
It's good to go to eat.
And then you cut the bag, it spills in the plate. We do sell butters too as an upsell, but then you drizzle that butter, and I mean it's ready to eat.
Wow. Yeah, I love it. I think that meal kits again are popular. I think it's really easy to test this, but I would do weekly 3 to 5 meals.
Yeah.
And you should allow them to like make it like 1 or 2 person, right? So then you're sending them 6 to 10 meals.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a great idea. It's just another subscription offering. So like I would have 2 offers. I'd have the subscription box that's of the frozen goods that you currently sell now.
Yep.
And then I would do the meal kits.
Okay.
And like literally you got to play off this, like all you need is water, boil for 6 to 8 minutes, and you're eating.
Yeah.
Convenience is a big deal, right? Especially these new generations, right? Like they want convenience. They don't want to cook. They want things fast. I'm not saying they all don't want to cook, but like, I'm a consumer that falls right into that. And I just see a lot of individuals that are like me. And it's also the success of HelloFresh and a lot of these meal kits and Plated. I mean, they work, right? People are buying these meal preps and cooking them and eating them. It's also a really good lunch. It's a really good thing to have for work to take to lunch. Take to work for lunch.
Absolutely.
So I think you do it. I think that I love the creativity you're coming up with. I think you're now getting a whole nother consumer.
Yeah.
So you've now diversified your offering.
That's huge for us. Yeah.
And now you could potentially upsell some of the frozen stuff to the consumers that are in the meal kits if they want to make different meals. Yeah. I think what's going to come down to this is your creativity and your ability to come up with a lot of different meal kit options. You don't want it to be the same because they're going to get like fatigue over eating the same thing. Yep. So how can we get creative? How can we add rice or I don't know this stuff, right? How can we add other things into this? And then it's like, can you build? And what I would do is I'd actually like have a strategic time with my team or yourself and take 4 hours of my day and say, and test this. Like, how many different kits can I make that if I boil for 8 minutes, the meal's ready? How many different foods can go into this bag? Because now it's like meal ready in under 8 minutes. And that's like your sales pitch.
Yeah, for
your
sure.
Marketing pitch. Yeah. And if you can come up with 20, 30, 40 different variations, it's a win.
Yeah.
It's a big win.
You do need that variation.
Yeah, it's gonna get, like they should, at least a meal shouldn't come back for at least 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. Well, that's some great input. I appreciate that.
Of course. Anything else? How's the marketing going? How's the operations? Everything in place? Going well?
I feel like since December's always just or naturally such a busy month for us. So we got out of December and then we launched these seafood boils just as a test, as a one-time in January. And we've just been going nonstop. They really kept us going. So we've been really focused just operationally, which has been great because typically these are our slower months. But now we're kind of trying to hone back in and, get focused now on the marketing just with these changes and dial in the website a bit more and just, kind of get going again.
I love it. Well, John, I appreciate you being on the show.
Thanks again, man.
Good luck with everything. And I know that Sub Summit's coming up, so I hope to see you there, see you in person again.
I want to watch that pitch. I'm excited to see
for sure.
Next round.
Next round. We just had a first round last week. I think the next round, don't have the exact date, but I think it's coming up in March. But for everybody watching, appreciate you tuning in. As a reminder, Sub Summit is right around the corner, June 1st to the 3rd at Orlando on the Disney properties. The speaker lineup by the week is getting immaculate. They're getting more and more great big name speakers. The content's going to be amazing. The exhibitor hall is huge. So if you're looking for suppliers, I think we're going to have like over 100 different suppliers in there. So thank you guys, everybody, for tuning in. John, thank you so much for being on the show. Good luck with everything, and I'll see you in June.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you.